Right, go ahead.
Good evening, this is the Scituate Council on Aging Board of Directors meeting. Today is May 8th, 19 something, 2015. 19, where the heck am I? Can we do an introduction of the board, starting with Rocky
Carabas.
Meg Stillman,
Dale Vela,
Pam Davis.
Joan Powers,
Audrey Reedy.
Lawrence Choate.
Thank you. The minutes of the April 17th meeting, did everyone get a chance to read them?
What do you know about these cochlear implants? Did you?
The cochlear implants. They're, well, they've been around for a long time, but they've really perfected them. And they were experimental, and now they're no longer considered experimental. So people can have them done with, and they're paid for by insurance. A lot of, they usually, most of the people who do go for them are the people who are younger and deaf. Some people go to, when the older person is in the community, in the deaf community, that's part of their identity. And when we had somebody come in and talk on that, there were some elder people who were deaf, and they said no.
Really?
They would not have it. It's a very, very close community and very supportive of one another. But I think they've, they've made their way all their lives as being deaf, and they're satisfied, and they don't want to change it. Where the young person is more apt to, want to change it. So, but it's groundbreaking surgery. It's not what it was. It's amazing how much further the medical field has come in almost everything.
So they do it, do you have to go to Mass I&M, or can you go to South Shore?
I would
Does anybody
imagine,
know if you go to Mass
I
I&M?
don't know. I know you go to Mass I&M, but I would be surprised if Brigham's didn't offer it and a lot of other hospitals didn't. It's not that, it's not what it was 10 years ago.
Okay, back to the minutes.
I have another question.
Sure, ask away.
This is troublesome. The expenses incurred by caregivers for family members are astronomical. Who's going to address that issue? Is it an issue that has to be addressed?
That was something that we had talked about at the last board meeting, when you were talking about looking into the future and things that you wanted to.
Well, that was one of the reasons that I'm going the way I'm going.
Yeah.
We are trying to get an increase, actually it's $1 for each senior from the state. The House has approved it. It's cleared the House and it's going to the Senate, through the Senate right now. I emailed Senator Hedlund a long email, and then I emailed it to Kim, to ask the selectmen to sign on and support it. So what has happened in the field is other things have been cut so drastically and continue to be cut for seniors. All kinds of resources are being eliminated drastically, including insurance and everything else. But the most important thing that has been cut is for anybody who is not poverty-stricken. There is no help or no assistance for respite care or for anything like that for people who have Alzheimer's or dementia. People can live 15 to 20 years with that affliction. And they generally, when you figure, there's a lady in my building that comes to the support group, and her husband was a very high-powered attorney, lovely, lovely man, and he has Alzheimer's. And she says he does not know who she is. He knows, he's very He's a very, very easy man to deal with. He's lovely. He's very, very gentle and very sweet. But even with that, he does not, he does not know her or know who his children are. He's glad to see them, but he has no real recognition of them.
Has she thought of having them placed in a nursing home?
No, she won't do that.
Where he doesn't know the difference? Where
No,
he is?
no, she won't do that.
I'm
And
surprised I don't have any, like nowadays they have the tax credit for childcare and things like that. Nothing like that.
Nothing
They can't
there.
apply that yet.
no,
That's a good idea.
but you
I
know,
don't know what it is. I just know that
Yeah.
you can even have tax credit for summer camps.
well, the only thing the thing that's
Right.
harder
Yeah.
for these people with Alzheimer's and dementia, and I know firsthand because my husband had dementia for 11 years. So, and I also know how costly it is. By the time my husband died, I had spent $300,000 in care for him. So, that is just, and that's just a fact of life for people with, who have loved ones. And right now, in 10 years, they expect the numbers to double,
How do you like the sign on the expressway that says, "This earth will live to be 100"? Have you seen that big?
No, it's right.
Nowadays with
Today.
technology.
Yeah.
Does be.
Well, proves my point that, yeah, it's a fact of life. People are gonna live to be 95. People your age may live even longer. But as they're aging out, we all have a biological clock, and our bodies have wear and tear. It is going to be very, very difficult financially as the seniors become as large as they are. And the thing is that what we need and what the society is not known for and should be doing, and I'm a big proponent of it, is being proactive, not reactive. I mean, what are the ways that we can keep our seniors who are 65 and 75 and 80 who are now in good health, reasonably good health? How do we keep them in that, continuing to be as long as we can? And that is going to be exercise, nutrition, socialization. All of these things are going to be necessary for these seniors. And right now, the only place it's being done are in 350 senior centers in Massachusetts and in senior centers across the country. There are no plans, there is nothing set to do that. And yet we could make an enormous difference on what it's going to cost our country and what it's going to cost our future adults. And somebody has to be looking at that. So anyhow, that was one of the things that I addressed with Senator Hedlund.
Okay. The $1 increase that you're talking about, is that in the money that you get from the
The
state?
formula grant,
The
yes.
formula
It
grant.
pays for Jenny's salary and pays for things we wouldn't have
Right.
and we wouldn't be able to afford if we didn't have that.
Another reason why we are living longer is because of the medications.
Absolutely. The
If we didn't have the
medical,
medications,
right.
years ago, they didn't have the medication they have today. The only thing, they don't have much for the dementia, though, that's the only trouble. They have very little for that, it's just,
No, nothing has worked.
no, it's
Nothing
a
has
terrible,
worked.
terrible thing, but
Yeah.
it happens to
Yeah.
a lot of I think to real smart people.
This happens to
But
everyone.
it does happen to a lot of real smart people
Yeah.
that have
Right.
a lot of knowledge. And
Right.
my friend of mine in California, his
Yeah.
wife's 40 years now, she went to the bathroom the other day, she says, "Walter, I have there's a woman here with me," and she was in the mirror, it's crazy,
Well, it is.
And she was a very smart woman.
And the thing is, the caregivers that are taking care of them day to day, 24/7, are usually the spouses of these people who are aged themselves. And they don't have respite care, they don't get a break to go out. This is why I so dearly wanted to do a social day program, for our seniors in Scituate. And we probably, I'm sure, we only have one social day, and that's in Duxbury. The Council on Aging in Duxbury is the only place in the South Shore that runs daycare.
What about St. Luke's? Is that the medical model? St.
That's,
Luke's?
that's gone.
That's gone, long
Gone.
gone. They didn't have enough.
Wait, it's gone?
Oh, it's been gone for a long
A
time.
couple of years now.
And that is the medical model. Yeah, the medical model's different. There are a couple of medical models. There's one in Norwell, there's one in Hingham,
It's one in
and
Kingston.
there's one in Kingston, yeah.
The insurance that you can buy, is that just to cover nursing home costs? You
Not
can't
anymore,
use it-
Meg.
oh, you
That
can't.
has changed because the law was changed. And
Do you mean long-term care
Right.
insurance?
long-term
yeah, and so now, what it doesn't cover assisted living. You cannot get, unless you have a very unusual, very costly policy, it does not cover assisted living. However, what it does cover is that if you have that long-term coverage, they will pay, now an aide that will come into your house to bathe and to take care of somebody is at least $25 an hour, at least, a minimum of $25 an hour. So you can apply those costs to that insurance. If the person is not yet ready to go in a nursing home, but is bedridden or is having a difficult time getting around, you can take that money if you choose and apply it to that. And seniors are starting to do that. This has just been available to them over the past 3 years. So, and I would say for young people today, especially if they're gonna live longer, look into the younger you are, the cheaper it is. So look into it while you're young, because if you wait till you're 50 or 60, you're gonna pay huge premiums.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions about the minutes from last meeting?
No, but I loved the idea about, I watched it on TV and
good.
just missed it. Because it was, I think, early Alzheimer's, early dementia for me. But the library thing, that
Oh,
you're there,
yeah.
I love that idea.
Oh,
to
you
bring
mean the books? Yeah.
I don't know how they do it, but it's really such a great
Perfect.
idea.
Yeah, well, we will be, we have our last meeting, I think, in 2 weeks, and so we will be starting with 4 seniors, because we have volunteers, and it will be once a month that the books are dropped off. So that's how it will start, and as the need
Wait,
grows.
so once a month the books,
There will be 4 books. What we have to do, what we will do, or what the library will do actually, is find out what the likes are and the needs of the senior in terms of a large print. You know, they like mysteries, they like novels, they like romance.
yeah.
You know, what they like to read. And so they, every month, they will drop off 4 books. The volunteer will come and drop off 4 books for the senior. And at the end of 4 weeks, they will go back with 4 new books and recover the books from the seniors. One of the things couple of things we had to work out was, you know, the fact that these books are not their property. It belongs to the library, and therefore, if your daughter comes and wants to borrow one, no. Because then you're responsible for, you know, what happened to that book. So, you know, other than
Well,
that,
it's really no different than checking it out in
No,
the library.
no.
I mean, you even think it would be pretty easy if you see those little scanners now right on
Mhm.
iPhones,
Mhm.
where they could probably scan a library card right at somebody's house.
right. And they
Or
were,
to track it,
yeah,
but it's a great
yeah, so,
service.
yeah, so it's,
I can
Has
see
there
it
been a
blossoming.
big
Yeah, I
response
can
from
too.
seniors yet?
Yeah.
Or has there not been a sign up yet?
there hasn't been, no, because we're gonna be training the volunteers.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be going into homes and,
Yeah.
you know, there are certain things that, you know, the requirements in terms of what you get involved in and what you don't get involved in. If you see a senior who doesn't look well, or you have some concern, you don't act on your own. You call 911, or you call the senior center, or, but you don't make that determination as to their needs. And no matter how well-intentioned you are, it can be, something
It's the
that's...
same as Meals on
Yeah,
Wheels.
right, yeah, exactly.
Well, I love that. That's awesome.
Audrey, anything else you want to talk about from last month? Does anybody have any other questions about last month's?
No.
meeting? Okay, can I have a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the secretary.
Thank you.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great, thanks. Florence, staff and director report?
Okay. Well, I'll start with programs. April remained busy, especially for the exercise groups and transportation. The memoir writing class has begun again with Dale at the helm. We have the ever-popular Scituate Garden Club this month with a class on flower arranging. A forum on tax breaks for seniors was conducted at the Scituate Harbor Community Center. Our knowledgeable town assessor did a great job informing those seniors attending about the tax breaks available and the criteria for applying. The forum was well attended and it will be played on cable several times during the year for those seniors who missed it. This month was extremely busy for staff and volunteers as we completed our preparation for the health fair. We were very pleased with the results and got lots of positive feedback. Thanks to our partners, the Board of Health, and all of the wonderful volunteers, there were 170 attendees. We are preparing for several programs in May, June, and July, and August, usually slow months, as many people entertain friends and relatives, and several will be away. The volunteer lunch is scheduled for June 21st, and invitations will be sent out soon. We're having them printed today. Okay, here is the director's report. In spite of a cold and rainy April, Scituate seniors began venturing out of their homes to take part in activities at the center. Everyone is looking forward to spring, and hopefully it will be here soon. Some of our snowbirds are also returning, and it is nice to see them back in Scituate. The town meeting is over and proved to be a long one that stretched into 2 nights. There are a lot of things that are still on the table, and since it is a matter of cost, it will take some time to sort them out. More of our seniors are using long-distance transportation for medical rides out of town, and I expect this need will grow as more and more seniors age out. We continue to expand our relationship with the youngsters of Scituate. Currently, the high school social studies class is doing their yearly project involving 15 seniors and 20 social studies students. This was a huge success last year that ended with a very moving report. We are having a talent show for Jenkins second graders on the 17th of May, along with a pizza party at the center. We are currently working on a senior project for reading with the Jenkins School, and we are going to be looking for volunteers in the fall. Susan Pope from the town library is working with us on a program for senior shut-ins. Susan ran a very successful program in Brookline for many years and hopes to replicate it here very soon. We will also be looking for volunteers for this.
She's really excited about it.
Yeah, she is. I know she is. The health fair was a huge success. We had over 170 people attend, and while they were mostly seniors, we did have a few of the younger crowd. There were 29 organizations who participated, some of whom performed testing while they were there. I would like to thank the Board of Health, Jennifer Sullivan and Iden Scotta, as well as our staff, volunteers, and all of you who helped make this the success it was. The town administrator and the selectmen have approved a new hire for us. I am not sure when the position will be available, but it will be for a social worker. Given the growth of seniors in Scituate and the fact that they are aging out, we will need more resources and responses to crisis. Makes this position a win-win for the town. We are having our volunteer luncheon on the 21st of June. It's a very special day for the COA to thank all of you who have so generously given of your time over the past year. You will be receiving an invitation in the mail soon. Please respond when you get it so we can let the caterer know the number of those who plan to attend. That's what I have on that. I'm losing my voice. This is our transportation report from April. We had 486 daily rides. We had 87 link rides, which is the out-of-town transportation. We had none for MAP. We had 6 volunteer rides, and we had a total of 579 rides. Total volunteer hours was 16. We had no escorts this month, and the total miles driven were 1,285. Okay. The Scituate Council on Aging, this is their social service report for April. We had 2 home visits. They had 23 office visits at the Council on Aging. They attended 3 meetings or events. There were 44 telephone calls that were either made or taken. There were 6 referrals made. There were 81 of those people served during that time were duplicate numbers, which means they had come in for other things before. 40 of them are unduplicated, which means they're new people not seen before for these services. This month, the Social Service Coordinator contributed to the 2nd Annual Health and Wellness Fair held at the Scituate Community Building. The event took months of planning, but it was worth it as it was a highly successful endeavor. We had over, Nancy says 30 fantastic vendors, and all who came out, she could be right, came out for the fair, got great information, health tips, and health screenings. And that's what we have on that. One of the things that is going to be happening, and if you see in the last page, I had put, I had a request from Patricia Benchese, our town administrator, to do a report on programs we're currently being served and programs that we will should be happening in Scituate. And so I worked on that as well as other things for this, but as you can see, if you look at the top, the star, 1 star represents the programs that are being held at the Scituate Harbor Community Building, and 2 stars indicate classes that are planned. We have arthritis exercise that's conducted by the Norwell VNA twice weekly. We have cardio exercise once weekly and at the center, once weekly at the community center. We have yoga twice weekly at the community center. We have chair yoga twice weekly at the community center. We have Tai Chi once a week. We have country western once a week. We have Zumba at the center, at the community center once a week. We have Pilates once a week. Events that we do, we have a men's breakfast once a month. We have men's poker now, 1 time a week. We have men's softball meetings once a month. We have nutrition presentation lunches 1 time a month. Dinner or special lunch with more than 45 is generally about once a month. Education on enrichment, informal forum, we have once per month, and we'd like to expand that. We have an Italian class that's being held once a week that's oversubscribed. They love it. Memoir writing class once a week, art class once a week. We would like to start beginner's art class because the art class is a little advanced for some people and they get a little scared and they leave. So we'd like to have something that is at a level that they're comfortable with, and then they can always progress up to the next level. We'd like to do the current event discussions, because I think that's important. And game day, we'd like to have game days at least once a week. We want to do and this is the cognitive part of what, as I'm saying, exercise is extremely positive, but when you stop and think of what goes into some of these things, this is really building health and wellness. Wisdom learning for seniors, 5 sessions a week, 5 sessions of 6 weeks, 4 per year. And those would be like art history, something on the Civil War, or regular history, something on even the town, just things that people are interested in, things that are going on or have gone on. They are run all over where the senior centers are large. They're run and they're extremely well attended. And it's really, really valuable time spent by seniors who, this gets their mind going. It is really, really a good use of time.
It's also a thing of socialization too.
Yeah, it is. All of this is. Computer classes, and free time on computers. And the support groups, the Alzheimer dementia group, the bereavement group, which we're not allowed, which we cannot do. We're always asked. There isn't one bereavement group going in the town of Scituate, not one. And anyone who needs bereavement has to go out of town. And the reason we can't have it is because we do not have any place for them to be private. Everything is out in the open. It's one thing with the support group. Sometimes it's a little dicey with that, but with bereavement, when people first come and have lost somebody, it is profound. It is a profound group, and it is, if people are on display, that's not right. And one of the things that bothers me here is we have been for years violating HIPAA regulations here. And we have no ability to be current with them. We can't do it. We do not meet it. If we were inspected, we would be sanctioned for it.
Because you don't have that.
You have to have absolute privacy when you're developing information. You have to be able to have a locked room that has all the records in. There are so many criteria. I ran 3 centers, and I know what HIPAA is.
Yeah.
And there's a $5,000 fine if you get sanctioned.
Well, do we have lockable file cabinets to put
We
the
do,
information
but
in?
you really should have a room.
Yeah.
You should have a room.
Not only that, if you are a support group and you want to bring the loved one with you, there should be an area set aside for them,
Sure.
a place for them to
I
be
agree.
while you're getting the
But
support.
we did use the community building for that.
Yeah, we actually.
And only at one time did somebody bring somebody.
And-
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think sometimes, I thought after that, they want to get away.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
want to get away.
Why can't people go to their churches, their ministers, and have priests and stuff for bereavement?
You know how busy the priests and
Oh.
ministers are?
Funds, I think they have to they should be able to make time for people.
Well, that's.
The ministers,
that's
that's
not
their
our
call.
St.
call.
I know.
Mary's
I
have
mean-
space like that that you might be able to use? think
I-
we do.
Are the Methodist churches, could we make use of a space in another, community, town building for that, for bereavement group?
I know St. Mary's has a room
Oh, I
for
do know that,
but
yeah.
it's small. I don't know how many
Yeah.
you're thinking, but
Yeah. Well, you
They're
would never
usually
do a
pretty
group
good
with
about-
more than 10. You just, because it would get away
it's been
from you.
But it is,
Yeah. Yeah.
do think they've got some
Yeah,
spaces.
well, I don't really know anyone at that church.
I just made a statement, I don't know if I'm wrong.
You know, I can ask, one of the seniors that belong.
I don't know,
to
could we book a room at the library?
No,
No.
there,
No.
no.
Why not a
I-
room,
I-
why
I don't
not at the community center?
No, are you kidding me? That's so open that people
Isn't there
walking
one
in
room
there.
that's kind of?
No.
No, nothing yet.
No,
Yeah,
no. And they're just putting on a new roof over there.
no.
That's a good thing.
Before they tear it down.
I mean, we used
Wait a
to,
minute, they're just putting on a brand new.
It's what? Leaks like a sieve.
They're putting on a new roof.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna put a new floor down.
Because they've decided what to do with it, I guess.
Well, temporarily.
I don't know, I haven't been told. All I know is a new roof and a
You
new.
have to take care of it.
Well, they are-
It's gonna be worthless if
Yeah.
they don't.
Well, I think they're going
much
back
better
to
to
the
do it
idea of,
What do we
Using
do
it
with that?
using it as a community
It's
center.
crammed down our throats, the 11th hour, and
I
now nobody knows what to do with it. It's
I know.
another building, just to.
yeah.
But
I
unlike the other
honestly,
buildings in town, they have to maintain it. You know, they didn't maintain a lot of the buildings for a lot of years, and that's why we're in the situation
Right.
where we're having to replace them.
So that's
And
good,
it
so
always
that's good.
settled.
But
Being
still,
more
I just
proactive
wish it's
with
been,
them.
it's been, what, 2 years? I wish
yeah.
that they would.
Well, I
there would be
know
a
that
decision made.
there, and I'm not positive that this is gonna happen because it's just bantered back and forth, that they're possibly, that they're thinking or, that they're going to, rent out space there for, weddings and showers and things like that.
Yeah, but
Are we
they don't-
talking about, what are we talking about?
Coming back, we
They don't have-
did,
they don't have a
but I
kitchen.
thought that you couldn't make, it was only
We
so
don't have any
that
facilities.
They
you
don't have a
could,
kitchen there.
Do
no
it.
kitchen.
like the, what the lighthouse keeper's house
Yeah.
does, they put it, you know, they set it up separately, and it's only to then take care of the building, you can't make a
Yeah,
profit.
that's all, you can't make a profit, you
on the
could
building.
never put that money in the town
I mean, it's
office.
a perfect
You could
place
put
for
the
that.
money, you could put it away to take the building and keep the building up and pay for heat.
Oh,
And
that's
actually, you could even, as a nonprofit, it would have to be made a nonprofit. It is not now. They would have to get a
Yeah.
501(c)(3), because then if you have a salary, like if you have someone who's in charge, that salary could be coming out of revenues as well. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mhm.
So, but in order to set it up right, it has to be a 501(c)(3).
And that's why they did the lighthouse.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd be happy with that, I think that would be a really
Yeah.
nice thing
Well,
for
yeah.
the community to have.
Yeah, I agree. So,
What
we'll see.
We all agree
Further
with that.
news, wait for
Nobody
further
argues
news.
with you.
No.
But they have to bring up the standards with the disabilities also.
No,
No.
no, no, not if they don't go upstairs.
Oh,
No,
how
yeah.
about the bathrooms?
Bathrooms in,
I
No
think they
step
meet
right on
code.
Pardon me?
I think they meet code, as long as they don't put, what is it, a certain amount of money into it.
You have to meet code, you have to have
They meet code.
disabilities.
But
Did-
they-
When Pilata did this thing over, did he meet the disability code?
Yeah, at the time.
Because you know, your six has to be lower, your urinals have to be lower, your toilets itself, they call them hoppers, have to be higher.
Yeah.
They have to widen up entrances for wheelchairs.
Yeah,
There's a lot of things that, for disabilities here that
Yeah.
you gotta be
I think
very,
the
very
ones that
careful.
aren't are the ones in the, near
We
the
see
entrance.
this with
The
the floor.
one in the back,
it's that.
If you
close to the where the bar was.
Yeah, they had to have done it, I mean, yeah, they
Those
had
are,
to.
those are
have done it, yeah.
compliant, but I think the ones in the front are not.
so I'm a
all
little
I
confused.
know,
so
and
we know-
this is just in the planning stage, I have
That's
no
great.
idea. It
That's
hasn't
I think
been-
that is good.
I'm glad they're looking
But,
at it.
but then it wouldn't be used, I'm just confused, would it, if that were to go through, then it would no longer be used as a community center?
Oh, I
You
think
should
it would
still
be
be able to
all-
pass
Oh,
it.
that's another fa, okay, that's what I, yeah.
Yeah,
would be
because I
another
mean,
facet.
showers and weddings and things usually are holding, look at
Weekends and
weekends and
Glastonbury,
evenings.
Did they
Connecticut.
want to
That's
see
a
our plan
wonderful
again that we
example.
put together?
Yeah. Good idea, Mick.
What's that?
We put a whole plan together about using it back.
We've got that paperwork
It's
somewhere.
already done, it's
Yeah.
done.
That's right.
Good point.
To get out.
And I would like to see, if possible, and we'd use that in the evening, NA group for seniors, because I will tell you, it's really difficult, coming from that community, it's really hard for, seniors don't often go to a regular AA group because it's young people, they have different issues, and for a senior who may have started to drink because of depression at 50, 60, 70 years old, this is a lot of shame that they're dealing with, so they really need to have, you know, they really need to, this is one case where seniors really are better off by themselves. So I would like to see the center sponsoring something like that. And we go back to the meals delivered. To put up a kitchen, cost to the seniors, as Duxbury does, $5 a meal. They deliver 3 times more meals in Duxbury than we do with Meals on Wheels.
Really?
Why?
Because they have a kitchen, they have a
They have
chef.
the facilities, they have the support.
Oh, it's delicious.
They have a chef there.
It's delicious. It's really good, Meg.
Yeah.
We really,
That'd
we
be great.
really
if
don't have
seniors
the
don't wanna
facilities
cook.
to do
Yeah,
that.
a lot of seniors don't want to cook, and
I
they
don't
eat
like to
peanut
cook
butter
either.
and jelly sandwiches.
I don't go that far.
When we have a function, they eat very well.
Oh, they sure do, they're so funny.
Everybody.
Yeah, feed them and they will come.
Yeah. Feed me more.
Hasn't the recent budget cuts eliminated Meals on Wheels?
No,
There's no
No.
cuts. We get 12
Well,
people
we'd like
eat
to.
lunch, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
But I mean, if it gets, if it
No,
gets
there's no
passed,
cuts.
okay.
And
But
how
12
many meals
people
do you
are
have going
not-
out these days,
That's
do you
not a
know?
whole lot.
no.
That's Meals on Wheels.
48 to 50.
12 people,
So
correct?
roughly
It has to
Every
be about the
senior
same every
center
year.
that runs.
Is that, we have 40 to 50
That's
because
low for
Wayne
this
is
size of
huge.
community.
Huge, and they
Is it
have,
really?
how many people they have when they
Except
do the
Duxbury.
congregate lunch, which is
Well,
what
that's
they're
very
talking
covered
about,
on the top,
20.
Yeah.
20,
That's separate.
and they're 3 times the size of
That's a
Scituate.
separate
Yeah, they are.
program.
Yeah, yeah.
And they have a huge place, 20 people, they never have any more than 20
In
people.
Duxbury?
Yeah.
No.
Well, put a feather in your cap if you have 45, we're doing the right
we're kind
thing.
of
Yeah.
a real multi-time.
Now, if everybody would listen, support us, we'd do
We really
I see
do
the
know what
sign
we're
and
doing,
you
Audrey.
need to go in
That's right,
there.
and doing it
It's like
well.
a real
I think.
multi-town also. Very, very well.
Okay, so this is some wish list and
Pretty
some,
Yeah.
well, obviously what we've already got going on.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay. Does anybody have any other questions for Florence? Does anybody have any old business they would like to discuss?
Oh, what about our 501(c)(3)?
Well, that was gonna be kind of new business,
Oh, okay, then you can discuss that.
okay?
Okay.
Unless you want to discuss it as old business.
No, no.
As you remember, for new business, and let's go on to new business. As you remember, we used to have the Scituate Senior Association that was a fundraising 501(c)(3) that put on programs and had fundraising events to help fund programs that the Council on Aging wanted to have. And
We lost that.
we lost that arm. I think it's been 3 years, at least 2 years now, since a new crew took it over and they couldn't get it to run and it just died. And I have contacted somebody in the state who can get us the information about whether we can possibly resurrect the existing Scituate Senior Association, perhaps under the same tax number. And I'm trying to find out if we can get a group of people together who want to run this.
That was the problem though.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about people that want to do it? I mean, that was the
No.
problem of why.
Well, we haven't really
Yeah,
asked.
it really wasn't, you know,
You
It's
don't,
just
it
kinda died
hasn't
on the
had any
vine.
publicity.
yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't put out there really.
You have to have it in the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if we can resurrect it
Yeah.
with a new staff, then I think it's worth pursuing. if it's cost effective to get it started again. I don't
Well,
know
one of the things
what it's gonna take.
that a 501(c) does for you is, first of all, I cannot write grants to foundations. They would not accept them because I'm not a 501(c). I can write grants to the federal government because I'm a town entity. I can write them to the state because I'm a town entity. But there's a lot of, money that's out there, there are foundations that can't be tapped because I can't write a grant because they would not accept it. The other thing is that when you do fundraisers or you're selling tickets to a raffle, we are not taxed, we do not have a tax write-off for these people. If you have a 501(c), their donations are tax exempt. I mean, they're
Tax deductible.
tax deductible, yeah. And so that's the other thing that happens with the 501(c) that we're not able to do right now. So, that would be worth it, because first of all, if we were to go after 501(c) today with the lawyers, the cost of a lawyer, it would be in excess of $4,000 or $5,000. East Bridgewater was successful. They had the same experience that we did, where somebody took it and never used it and just let it go fallow and has never filed and is in complete violation by 3 years of the statutes. I mean, I know the statute back in the back of my hand. They have not complied with anything. So they should have, so right now I'm just as glad they didn't just shut them down, because East Bridgewater had the same experience and they were able to resurrect their 501(c), and they were able to get it back, and they got 3 seniors, and that's what you need on a board, 3 seniors, and started to build it up with small little ventures and have done very, very well with it. I did call Jim Cantwell, and I've asked for his help on this.
Good. That's great. So hopefully by the next meeting, we'll hear something. And, that's the only new news. The report, does anybody else have anything else they want to talk about? Any ideas?
Well, if we get the 501(c), then we could raise a ton of money.
The
correct?
501(c)
We
can.
can.
Yeah,
We
that's what I mean,
can't.
that's what I just said, if we can get that
We
resurrected.
can't raise it.
But that stays with the
committee.
501(c). You have to
They
understand.
can donate it.
But they
They
can
can
donate
donate
it
it
back,
to the
back
council.
to
Yes,
the,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk to Brendan. Brendan had talked about,
Oh, yeah, he did.
remember?
Yeah.
Talk to him, see if he'd be
Be a good
interested.
resource.
Yeah.
Brendan.
Brendan. Anyway.
Call Pierre.
I'll tap into him. He's a font of knowledge. If we have no additional new business, do you have anything to report for South Shore?
We have a new member on the board of South Shore Elder Services, David Capel, and he's from Scituate, but works in Hingham, and he's got some tie-up with the South Shore Hospital. There is now no waiting list for the home health. They've done away with that. They had enough money come in.
That's great.
So that was a good thing.
Oh, that is good.
And they've changed the name from the Community of Aging to the Community of Living, because they now have services for disabled.
They changed this to what? Community of Living.
Um,
That's good.
And the other thing, which we had a big discussion on, in which Florence had mentioned, and is in the minutes, about to let seniors know if they are in the hospital for observation, your insurance will not pay for that. You must be admitted in order for them to pay. And this is a big thing going on, because what's happened, if you are in the hospital for 3 days or more, and then you're covered by Medicare, and then you go to a nursing home, you're covered by Medicare. But then if you go back in a day or two, the hospital is fined a good amount by Medicare. So to get around that, what they do is if you go back, they don't actually put you in a room where you're in the hospital, but you can be there 2-3 days, but it's an observation.
Ugh.
So then you go down back to the nursing home, and you have to pay. And people are finding out, there was one lady, she didn't realize this, and she got a $25,000 bill.
Oh, my gosh, she will.
So if you.
They don't have any
So they.
liability for
So
that.
the idea of the fine to the hospital is that if they're in the, if they're sent to the nursing home too early, and they have to go back to the hospital, the hospital is
Medicare
fined.
fined.
Huh.
Good for you, Medicare, good for you.
And so but the other thing is now the hospital's gotten around this,
Observation.
but they put them in observation, and the seniors are gonna realize this, that their family is the one that really's gotta realize that, so when they go in, South Shore Elders is letting their clients know this.
Yeah, we let our seniors know. We tell our
But,
seniors.
you know, like this
The
problem is if a
observation
husband and wife, there's no family around, and you know, he's really, really sick and goes in,
And then the nursing home is not giving them any, they're not telling them when they, so that they could make a choice between staying and going.
Generally, when they leave a nursing home, to be fair to the nursing home, they're in crisis.
Yeah.
They
they're-
generally are, they're in
And they're in
crisis.
crisis and they can still be kept for observation. So is there any
Yeah.
criteria the hospital
Oh,
has to have
absolutely,
to
they can,
whether
they can say suspected heart attack.
Oh, yeah,
And they can
come
keep
up
them
with
for
Oh, yeah.
observation for that?
Dehydration.
Like there's
And
no
an IV.
criteria that they have to follow, they have to admit?
I think if they had IVs or something.
No, it'll do, I'd
Yeah.
say a great number of seniors that arrive in a hospital that are sick are dehydrated.
Yeah.
So that's a diagnosis, and you put in an intravenous, give them a liter of fluid. That would probably be observation, because then they'd ship you home unless
Yeah.
you're
A lot of,
sick
And
enough
they
to
do
be
IVs,
the
they can
next
do
step.
IVs in nursing homes, can't they?
Of course they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of
Nursing homes, that's a
hospitals.
tough call, I'm sorry, for them to say, you're very sick, let's say you're in kidney failure, and they say you have to go, and you say, is it gonna cost me? And we say yes, and you opt to stay there.
Yeah, it's
Very difficult situation for the nursing home, for the liability.
and not only
I mean,
that,
it's
a
very
nurse,
complicated.
a
The key
nurse
is-
can't work on, cannot do an IV without doctor's orders anyway.
Well, the key
Because
is to not
practitioners, yeah.
get booted out of the
Yeah.
hospital
The thing is-
too soon.
The thing
Yeah.
is,
To make
the
sure you're
seniors
well.
have to realize, they have to, well, anybody has to realize that this can happen. So if they go into the hospital, they need to ask, am I gonna be admitted or am I gonna be in observation?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're sending you back, it's when you're coming back that they're
Okay, well,
doing.
let's
No,
walk,
they're doing it anyway.
let's walk
Oh,
through
just even the
this, so you
admission?
understand. You're in the hospital, and they're going to observe you, okay? How long are they gonna keep you for observation? In a corner, on a stretcher, or is there gonna be a basic, like the Baptist has an observation area? I don't know this, I should have.
Mass General does.
Well, I have to believe they're gonna push for some kind of law that they have a minimum amount, you know, a maximum amount of
The
time.
problem,
to be in
Meg, you know where
observation.
this all comes from? Every bit of it comes from insurance.
Yeah.
Every bit of it comes from
Yeah.
insurance, because the people who are saying when a patient has to be discharged are not medical people.
No medical knowledge.
They have no medical knowledge whatsoever. They're
Very
not
little.
doctors or nurses. They're just making it on a dollar and cents, and they're looking at this thing that says this, this, and this. We won't pay anymore, get
But I have to
get them
believe
out.
there's some big lawsuits over this.
I
I mean,
haven't
people
heard
must
of
be
any.
fighting
I
these.
hope there are.
But
but I-
Again, I'm telling you, when you're sick, you don't have to fight.
You
There's
don't,
gotta
it's
be
family members, yeah.
When you're sick, you don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
Sue,
The hospital releasing people too early because of those
She
insurance
had a big
people.
article about that.
Half those insurance people can't even tie their shoes, never mind tell you when you're sick and when you're not sick.
I know, you're right.
I mean, it's a disgrace.
It is a disgrace, Rob.
And it's too bad because that's why people,
It ends up costing the.
costing senior money,
more.
plus they go
Well,
home,
it
and-
ends up costing more in the end.
or else they go home and die. Yeah, you know?
John, what were you gonna say? I wanted to hear what you were starting to say.
Oh, I said what I did.
Oh, okay.
The other thing is, there's a Mass Home Care annual meeting coming up on June 24th, so they'll have this flyer up in the senior center.
Where is it gonna be?
It's gonna be in
Burlington.
Burlington. It's always
Your
out
handy
west.
dandy neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that St. Luke's supper last month was very successful. The Rotary did it, and they really had a good time.
Good.
They had a really good time. And Joe Kelly, who's the president of Rotary, he made everything from scratch.
Really?
They had spaghetti and meatballs, and they had a great salad and sundaes.
Great.
And so the next one is gonna be May 26th, and St. Luke's is doing it, and it's gonna be a spring chicken, and it's gonna be lemon chicken with fried rice, green beans, brownies, and ice cream. And all are welcome.
Oh, that's nice, thank you very much.
Okay. And Jerry's not here.
I don't know what happened to Jerry.
I think he probably just forgot.
He must have,
Yeah.
because I saw him today. But I didn't talk.
Who's going to buy a new car?
Should be, you never know.
No, he's gone on another trip.
Huh? He told me the other day he wants to buy a new car.
Oh, God help us. Must be nice.
Spring itchy, he said.
Well, Jerry's got too much, you know, he hasn't, unfortunately, unfortunately for him, but he's got no end to his purse, so he can do whatever he wants.
God bless him. Richard couldn't come tonight, and he did not have anything to report on the Gates School project, town hall project, so that's it. Does anybody have anything else they want to talk about?
Spaghetti's cold.
If not,
I make a motion the meeting be adjourned.
all in favor?
Second.
6:55.
Sounds good. Meeting is adjourned, ladies and gentlemen. See you next month.
Thank you very much.